What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Symfuhny. We recently uncovered a clip of Symfuhny from Warzone 2 where he was in the gulag and his aim seems to be freely roaming as it does as the counter is going down before the gulag started, and his aim, his crosshair, snaps onto the enemy's head because in the gulag you can see like a red outline of the other enemy on the other side of the gulag, and his aim snaps onto the enemy head. Now the interesting part about this is the fact that Symfuhny's mouse hand is currently away from his mouse and looks like he's scratching a certain part of his body. I put out a video on TikTok as well as on Twitter showing this moment. Take a look. So let's play a game of hacked or cracked.
If they survive, they redeploy.
That's good. Okay. Nice, man. I died. Yeah, you're so good, bro.
So after Symfuhny has died, he ends up going into the gulag. But the one thing I want you guys to pay attention to during this clip is whilst he's in the gulag, Symfuhny seems to be reaching down to scratch a certain part of his body. So whilst his hand is away from his mouse, how does his aim lock onto the enemy's head across the other side of the gulag? So, do you think it was hacked or cracked? Drop a comment below and let me know. So it was painfully obvious that his crosshair recorrected in a very unnatural manner, and his hand was clearly away from his mouse, scratching whatever part of the body you want to think he was scratching. So I put this video out asking if it's hacked or cracked, whilst also giving an explanation throughout to what I actually see. And there was a couple of comments on Twitter that sort of caught my eye, like this one for example. Dimmy has actually said, have things changed in the current gulag? Historically, the gulag started with the X hair on opponent's head. So Dimmy's actually talking about the crosshair being on the opponent's head, and that is correct. When you load into the gulag, if you do not touch your controller or your keyboard or mouse, the crosshair will stay centered. But what we saw in the clip of Symfuhny was him actually moving around his mouse to start with. His aim was then off the enemy. He's then reached down to have a good scratch, and then his aim has snapped up back onto the enemy head. But this actually brought other people into the comment section who think that auto-centering was a thing, as you can tell from these comments. Hi Jamage says, nah, you're right, there's defo not an auto-center keybind on mouse and keyboard for Warzone or anything. DevDealer247 says, well, there we have it. Triple B thinks Symfuhny will be hacking in the 100 Thieves house. That nade shot would allow that to go on, while his org would have their reputation tarnished by someone not even signed to the org. An org which has a pro CDL team. Yep, that's what we have. And then WazD says, I'd have to see the full VOD. If so, that's a little sus. His reaction would be too. Again, have to see a full VOD for this. So High Jamage actually come out and thinks that somehow there's an auto-centering keybind for mouse and keyboard. Unfortunately, I played a game on PS5, but I did actually manage to put a demonstration together, which we will get to very shortly. However, one of those comments requested to see the full clip. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to play the full clip and see whether or not there is any information on that allows you guys to see any information that I may have missed. Take a look.
Oh, yeah, follow me because you suck and need DSR, I should say.
Squad mates in the gulag now. If they survive, they redeploy.
Alright.
That's good. Okay. Nice, man. I died. Yeah, you're so good, bro. My fucking loadout. I just need my loadout. Alright.
So you've now seen the full clip It wasn't edited in any way. This wasn't me trying to trick anybody by adding cheater gameplay with Symfuhny's webcam. No, this was actually a clip of Symfuhny in the Warzone 2.0 gulag. Now let's pay attention to the way in which he reacts as soon as that aim snaps onto the enemy. I find it kind of sus, and you can clearly see his hand reaching back to the mouse, and then he starts moving it about quite a lot. So it almost feels like as he's reaching to have a good scratch, maybe his foot's pushed a little bit of pressure on something under his desk. I don't know, maybe a foot pedal, which has caused his aim to snap that way. Now this is my thoughts behind it, but listen, it could be an in-game setting, but if they have that for keyboard and mouse, then surely they would have it for controller, right? And as I play on PS5, I decided to go and take a look at the settings and see whether or not it was a thing. Let's take a look at what I found. Okay, so we've seen the clip in its full context. We've seen the video that I actually put out over on Twitter and TikTok, and we've seen the comments that people seem to be believing that it is an auto centering feature. Now, I'm going to go into the game and I'm going to see whether or not it happens on controller in the gulag. If it does, and I'm moving around and it auto centers onto the center of the screen, onto the enemy's head across the other side of the gulag, then fair enough. But if it doesn't, I'd like to see somebody who's on keyboard and mouse demonstrate auto centering, because if that's a thing on keyboard and mouse, why aren't we getting it on controller? It makes no sense. So let's get into the gulag now. Here I am trying to do a demonstration, and apparently there's only 32 people in this lobby out of 100. Okay, so we've now got into the game. There's actually still only 38 people or something in this lobby, by the way, which I find kind of crazy. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just die off the rip. Dive out the plane, hit the ground and die, and go into the gulag, and we'll see whether or not auto centering is a thing. So we're now in the gulag, and what I'm going to do again, so what happens with Symfuhny was, right, so we moved over there. I've now got my hands off the controller. No auto centering whatsoever. Okay, so I've come across to the settings. Okay, I am on controller again, so it could be slightly different for keyboard and mouse. And we're having a little look through on the gameplay side of the controller, because this is where like an auto centering feature would be. We've got automatic sprint, slide maintain sprint, sprint tactical sprint behavior, auto move forward, tactical sprint behavior, grounded mantle, automatic airborne mantle, automatic ground mantle hang, slide dive behavior, plunging underwater, parachute auto deploy, sprinting door dash, ledge climb behavior. So nothing about that has anything to do with an auto centering. Okay, so I'm saying it would probably be within combat behaviors. Okay, aim down sight behavior, change zoom activity, focus behavior. Okay, it's not that. Equipment behavior, weapon mount activation, weapon mount exit delay, tactical stance activation, tactical stance behavior, interact reload behavior, armor plate behavior, ADS stick swap, backpack control. Okay, so there's nothing there. ADS interruption behavior, depleted ammo weapon switch, quick C4 detonation, manual fire behavior. So it's not within there. However, on the vehicle behaviors that we can see here, it has a vehicle camera recenter. So like you can look freely to the left or right, but after a couple of times, like short delay, you can have it set to different things. So short delay, default, long delay and off. But you can have that set so it auto recenters, so you are looking forward. You have the camera's initial position and the lean out activation. Okay, so the only thing so far that I can see that has anything to do with a auto recenter is actually vehicle behaviors, which again, Symfuhny was not in a vehicle in the gulag. Overlay behaviors, ping wheel delay, a double tap, danger ping delay, kill streak wheel behavior. So nothing within that indicates centering like an auto center behavior other than in a vehicle. So after doing some testing and after going through the settings on PlayStation 5 on controller, I found that without touching the controller in the gulag, I was not able to auto recenter, and after going through the settings, there was no option for auto recenter except for when you are in a vehicle. So this got me thinking, all of the people who commented on my tweet and on TikTok saying it's an auto centering feature on keyboard and mouse, why haven't any of them shown me a screen grab or video of that exact option for keyboard and mouse? If that is in fact the case, then fair enough. But if that isn't an option for keyboard and mouse players, then what on earth caused Symfuhny's aim to snap onto the enemy? The way in which he reacted after the snap as well pretty much speaks for itself. It almost looks like it snapped up and he's realised and then started moving his gun about a little bit to try and mask it whilst talking and making noise. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you are a keyboard and mouse player, please do me a favour, go and see in the settings if there is an auto centering option for just aiming, nothing to do with vehicles, and if that's the case, reach out to me on Twitter at BadBoy Beaman1 and send me a DM with a screen grab of it, and I will well and truly completely put the video out showing that that is in fact an option. Unfortunately for me, I have not got the option to test on keyboard and mouse, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys find. Let me know what you think about the clip in the comments below, and if you did enjoy today's video, guys, smash that thumbs up for me. Give the video a share as well, it helps massively, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future uploads. And one last thing before we go. If you're anything like me and you're dealing with daily stress and a lot of anxiety, believe me when I say this, Supreme CBD products are unreal. These gummies have helped me massively with the anxiety and stress of my everyday workload, and they could probably help you too if you're dealing with those things. I've got other products here as well, including the oil. These drops work great just before you go into bed. For anybody who has like sleepless nights, these can help massively. And I've got plenty of other products to actually test out from them. I've not tried this yet, but it's the deep freeze balm. I've also got the soft gel capsules, and the reason I chose these is because I've got a sweet tooth and sometimes you can go through the gummies a little bit too fast. And guys, if you want to go and take a look yourself, make sure you use code BBB40 at checkout to save 40%. The link is in the description below.